Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I actually have a model plane over here. And since in my last video, you guys really liked the video on the landing gear and its parts, suspension and actuator, so I thought, okay, let's make another plane video. So here I have an Airbus A321 Air Canada livery, the newer version. This model is Gemini Jets, and I don't have the link for the plane right now. So let's actually just get right into this video, and we can begin by just naming all the parts on this plane, because if you're going to know more about planes, you're going to have to know more about the parts. Okay, so we'll start off with the more simple parts, which everyone really knows. So we can start off by these wings. So these are the wings of the aircraft used to provide lift. So if you can see, the wings are in this way. They're not completely straight at a 180-degree angle. They are actually lifted a bit, so it will provide necessary lift needed. Okay, we'll start by naming each of the parts on the wing. So if we actually, let me zoom in a little. Okay, let me move that back. Okay, so as we can see on the wing, we have the winglet used for aerodynamic reasons, for fuel burn and all that stuff. Over here we have the flaps. The flaps come down, and we have the spoilers. Below the wing we have the engine, and the engine is attached to an engine pylon, which is attached to the wing itself. So the engine's not entirely just attached to the wing, it's attached by a pylon. That's something new you probably did not know. Okay, so if we take a closer look into the engine, we see a small turbine and a fan. Now that fan is for the thrust, and there are like a bunch of other parts in the engine, but that's a whole nother story. And so spoilers are used during landing to reduce lift, aka drag. So that is used when the aircraft is on landing and it will land. Spoilers will be armed and it will help slow the aircraft down. Something else used to slow the aircraft down is reverse thrust. It's used in the engine. Reverse thrust is in the name, reverse thrust reverser. So yeah, okay, let's move on to the other parts of the airplane itself. So over here we actually have the horizontal stabilizers. Now the horizontal stabilizers, they're quite simple. It's just horizontal, so you can remember it by horizontal. The H is H, but you'll find out ways to remember it. That's just one of the ways I remember it. So horizontal stabilizer includes the elevator. You can adjust the horizontal stabilizer for trim. It's used for center of gravity to help calculate the actual leveling of the plane. Okay, we'll move on to this part over here, which the actual logo of the airline itself. We have the vertical stabilizer. Another way to remember vertical is V is up, so vertical. Now we have the rudder on here, which helps control the yaw. Yaw is basically, let me show you right here. Yaw is not this. It's actually this. So you can move the plane like that. It's actually used for crosswind landings where you have to face into the wind. So that's also another thing you have learned today. Congratulations. Okay, we will move to the front of the plane. Actually, there's one more thing I need to cover. So have you ever wondered what this thing is? Oh, you can see that, sorry. Have you ever wondered what this thing is at the back of the plane? That is actually called the APU, Auxiliary Power Unit. That is used to power all the lights and all. If I'm wrong, any other pilot in the YouTube community, please correct me. Okay, but anyway, this will be used to control all the lights. It will also be used to help engine start, but we'll get into that later. Okay, at the front of the plane, we have the nose. Actually, one more thing I forgot. This tail end is actually called an empennage, if you didn't know that. Okay, anyway, let's get right into the nose. So in the nose, it's really simple. Why is it blurring? Okay, but never mind. We have the cockpit doors. A320, the cockpit doors are kind of spaced out. In Boeing planes, they're more stuck together, but all the planes are good. So we have the nose over here. In a Boeing 777, there is actually a radio thing inside the nose itself. Okay, if we go to the bottom of the plane, we will actually see that there is landing gear. I actually went over the landing gear, but if you didn't know, this is the nose landing gear, and these two are the main landing gear. Okay, so basically, as I went over, the main actually just the nose landing gear only has suspension, and it will actually turn like sideways to taxi. There's a tiller in the cockpit, which is used for that. Also, there is the main landing gear, which I said it has tilt and suspension. Landing gear tilt, I covered that in another video. But in this plane, it only has these kind of wheels, so you can't actually tilt them. Only suspension will be used, but all landings are actually smooth. Okay, so now that we've known every outer part of the plane, we are basically done with the video. I will now go over, we're almost done with the video actually. So the fuel tanks are actually placed at 5% battery left. That's amazing. Okay, so let's do this quickly, guys. So basically, the fuel tanks are in the wings, these two wings, and the belly of the aircraft. Now, in the 737, you may have realized that there is actually not a wheel cover and the wheel in the landing gear well. That's actually a low ground aircraft, which actually helps reduce the space so more fuel can be stored. Okay, so now that we know that the fuel is stored in these wings and the belly of the aircraft, there is actually something more I need to show you. If I can zoom out. If we move this airplane to the side and we can bring this plane in over here. In the Airbus A380, we have the fuel tanks, which are both in the wings and the horizontal stabilizers. This actually is because, of course, a long-haul aircraft will be needing more fuel, so it will be actually stored in over here. Okay, so that covers everything else. Now we can move on to radio antennas. Now over here we have the one radio antenna. It's right there. So all those things on the top are radio antennas. And sorry, you can't see that, but also radio antennas are there. And on the nose of the plane, we have pitot tubes. Those are used for speed, to calculate speed. And we have angle of attack sensors. So those are used to calculate pitch and roll of the plane. Now, actually, I forgot to cover one thing on the ailerons of the wings. Ailerons do roll on the plane, and roll is roll. So roll. Now, to calculate the height of the aircraft, there's actually on the back of the plane a radio transmitter and radio receiver. It will basically calculate the distance from the ground to the plane. So that's actually really useful. If you've heard something in the cockpit, there's a countdown: 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and then it will call retard to retard thrust levers, and the thrust reversals will open up. And also, so it will actually calculate it. That's a whole big calculation, but it's actually pretty cool once you actually get into it. So that's all for today's video. Actually, I don't do a video every day, but this is all for the video. I hope you learned something more on the parts of the plane. Stay safe in this COVID-19 situation. Don't go out, And I will see you tomorrow. I won't see you tomorrow. I will upload whenever I can, and I will see you again. As always, bye. Yeah, guys, something else I forgot to cover are actually the slats of the aircraft. These are on the top, these are on this part of the wing. They also contribute to lift. Now, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you again. Stay safe. Goodbye.